Prologue, Shadows and Whispers. The quiet town of West Grace, nestled in the heart of England's rolling hills, was not much more than a whisper among larger cities. But to those who knew it well, like the 47-year-old Amanda Hull, its charm was profound and deeply felt. Amanda had been the manager of the Last Post Inn for nearly 2 decades now, and her life was as closely tied to the establishment's walls as any of the regular patrons. The Last Post Inn was no ordinary public house. It stood on a hill, overlooking a panoramic view that stretched out like an endless green carpet towards distant, snow-capped mountains in winter and verdant meadows under a clear blue sky during spring. The inn had been in the Hull family for generations, passed down through marriages and wills, until it finally came to Amanda's father, Richard, who made it his own. It was within these walls that Amanda grew up, learning the ways of hospitality from her father's teachings. Amanda had inherited a heavy mantle when she took over as manager. The Last Post Inn wasn't just any public house, it held a special place in people's hearts and memories. To many locals, it was more than just a place to drink or eat. It was a sanctuary where stories were shared, friendships forged, and secrets whispered into the wind. But running such an institution came with its own set of challenges. Chapter 1: The Inheritance. Amanda Hull had grown up in the shadow of her father's expectations. Richard Hull, known for his stern demeanor and strict discipline, was a man who valued tradition and order above all else. His eyes were always sharp, like those of an eagle perched on a hilltop, scanning every detail with unerring precision. He saw potential where others only saw obstacles. From a young age, Amanda had learned to read the subtle cues in her father's expressions when he was proud or disappointed, how his eyes lit up when patrons praised the inn, and when his temper flared like a wildfire. She absorbed every lesson, every rule, every tradition that Richard insisted on maintaining. The Last Post Inn was more than just an establishment to him, it was his legacy. Richard had been a formidable figure in West Grace, not only as the owner of the Last Post Inn but also as a respected member of the community. His influence extended far beyond the bar and dining rooms. People came from miles around to seek his advice or simply catch up with old friends over a pint. But beneath this public persona lay a man haunted by regrets and hidden fears. Amanda could see these shadows in her father's eyes, which often flickered with a barely concealed anguish. It was a struggle she knew too well, balancing the expectations of others with the burden of fulfilling them. The weight became heavier after her mother's passing when she turned 19. She had taken over as manager shortly thereafter, at Richard's insistence. Richard's decision to name Amanda his successor was not without its challenges. He saw in her a reflection of himself, a younger version driven by purpose and passion. But he also saw the potential for failure, knowing full well that Amanda's approach might differ from his own. Her style was more compassionate. She believed in listening rather than ordering. One evening, as autumn leaves swirled around the courtyard of the Last Post Inn, Richard called Amanda into his study, a small room filled with the faint scent of old leather and polished wood. He sat behind his desk, the light from the single window casting long shadows across his face. "Amy," he began, his voice low but steady, "I want to talk about your future here at the Last Post Inn." Amanda's heart skipped a beat as she entered the room. She had been waiting for this conversation for years, yet now that it was happening, she felt an overwhelming sense of dread. "I know what you think," Richard continued, "that I've been too strict, too demanding. But remember, Amanda, tradition is everything in our family. It's who we are." She nodded silently, her mind racing with thoughts of the future and how different it would be without him guiding every step. Richard leaned forward, his gaze intense. "I've made my choices, Amy. You must make yours. Take over as manager if you wish to continue this legacy. But do so with one condition: never let the Last Post Inn become a mere business. It's much more than that." Amanda listened intently, her heart swelling with both hope and fear. "When the time comes," he said softly, "you'll understand why I made these demands of you." He paused, his eyes locking onto hers. "But now let's talk about what you truly want to do here." Those words stayed with Amanda long after she left that room. The decision to continue running the inn was never just a matter of fulfilling her father's wishes. It was about preserving something precious, her family legacy and the spirit that made the Last Post Inn unique. Chapter 2: Shadows in the Hallways. The morning sun filtered through the thick curtains of the Last Post Inn, casting long, golden rays across the polished wooden floor. Amanda Hull stood at the entrance, greeting patrons as they arrived to start their day. The air was filled with a mix of familiar faces and new arrivals, each one bringing stories that would be shared over mugs of ale or cups of tea. As she moved through the crowded hallway, her footsteps echoed slightly on the polished wood, a reminder of her responsibilities. Richard had instilled in her a sense of duty, but it was the warmth and humanity he aimed to preserve that truly guided Amanda's actions. She believed in creating an environment where people felt comfortable enough to share their stories. Her father's study lay at the end of this hallway, its door occasionally open with a glimpse into his world. Amanda often paused here, lost in thought as she recalled his teachings and the lessons he had imparted over the years. It was a place where she sought solace and clarity when faced with difficult decisions or when feeling overwhelmed by the weight of running such an institution. One morning, as Amanda walked past the study, she noticed something unusual, a faint trail of dust leading from the hallway into the room. Curiosity piqued, she decided to investigate further. Pushing open the door, she stepped inside and found herself in a dimly lit space filled with old books, papers scattered across the desk, and a large map of the region mounted on one wall. The atmosphere was heavy with memories and quiet whispers that seemed almost tangible. Amanda's father's presence lingered everywhere, in the way his favorite chair was positioned by the window or the stack of letters from former patrons neatly arranged on his desk. As she explored further, her fingers brushed against a small box hidden beneath the map. Curiosity got the better of her and she carefully opened it to find an old photograph. The image depicted a younger version of Richard alongside a woman Amanda recognized as his wife, Sarah. Beside them stood a young boy and girl, their faces bright with laughter. The memories that flooded her mind were both bittersweet and troubling. She remembered the happiness on her parents' faces during family gatherings, but also the sorrow and tension that often followed in the wake of conversations about the future of the last post-in. The photograph was a poignant reminder of the past, a period she had tried so hard to leave behind. As Amanda studied the photo more closely, she noticed something peculiar. A small, intricate symbol carved into the corner. It was a design she had never seen before and seemed out of place among the familiar faces. Intrigued, she took a closer look at it, running her fingers over the delicate etchings. Suddenly, the door to the study creaked open, startling Amanda. She quickly tucked away the photograph and closed the box as Richard's voice echoed inside. "Amy? Are you in here?" Startled, Amanda stepped back and quickly smoothed out her dress. "Yes, Father. I was just looking at old photos." Richard entered the room, his gaze scanning the area carefully before settling on his daughter. His expression softened slightly upon seeing her, but there was still an underlying sense of concern. "Is everything all right? You seemed lost in thought." Amanda forced a smile and nodded. "Everything's fine, Father. Just thinking about old times." She glanced at the study door, hoping he wouldn't notice anything amiss. Richard walked over to his desk and pulled out one of the letters from Sarah. "I've received this letter today," he said, handing it to Amanda. "It seems your mother left me something important before she passed." Amanda took the letter, her fingers trembling slightly as she unfolded it. The handwriting was familiar but distant, filled with emotions that now seemed like echoes of a past life. "Read it aloud if you wish," Richard added gently. Reluctantly, Amanda began to read. "Dear Richard, I know this might come as a surprise and perhaps even a bit late, given the circumstances, but I want to share something with you that has been weighing on my heart for years. I've always believed in the last post-in's legacy, but there are times when change is necessary. I see how much Amy cares about this place and she needs to know more than what we have told her. There's a secret hidden within the walls of our home that could alter everything both for better or worse. If you ever feel like things are getting too heavy or if there comes a point where you must choose between tradition and innovation, remember this. The last post-in isn't just about maintaining the past, it's also about embracing the future. Sometimes what seems like an obstacle could be a stepping stone towards something greater. I'm not sure how much longer I'll be with us, but before that happens, please take care of Amy and ensure she understands her role here. With all my love. Sarah." Amanda's hand shook as she finished reading. The letter felt like a piece of her mother's soul, heavy with unspoken words and unresolved feelings. She looked up at Richard, who was watching her intently. "Mother knew," Amanda whispered, the weight of her father's gaze making it difficult to continue. Richard nodded silently, his eyes filled with both pride and sorrow. "She always did." Amanda placed the letter back into its envelope and closed the box tightly once more. She could feel a mixture of emotions, anger at what had been hidden from her for so long, gratitude for understanding her mother's intentions, and an overwhelming desire to uncover the truth. "Father," she began hesitantly, "do you know anything about what Mother meant by this secret? And why didn't you ever tell me?" Richard sighed deeply before answering. "That's a question only your mother can answer, Amy. I've tried to protect her intentions for our sake. But now it seems we must face the truth together." The revelation sent ripples through Amanda's carefully constructed life. The Last Post-in was no longer just an inn, it held mysteries and secrets waiting to be uncovered. Chapter 3: Unraveling the Secrets. The next few days were a blur of activity at the Last Post-in as Amanda grappled with the new revelations from her father's study. She spent countless hours in the archive room, poring over old documents and letters, searching for any mention or clue that might hint at her mother's hidden secret. One evening, while going through a stack of yellowed papers, Amanda stumbled upon an envelope sealed with wax. The seal bore a symbol she hadn't noticed before, exactly the same as the one on the photograph in Richard's study. Curiosity sparked, Amanda carefully broke the seal and unfolded the letter inside. "Dear Amy, I wrote this for you to find when the time was right. I hope you've taken care of yourself these past years. When you read this, remember that our family has a history steeped in secrecy and danger. It's something that needs to be confronted head-on if we're to preserve the Last Post-in's true legacy. I hid certain items within the walls, documents, artifacts, and symbols, to guide your path forward. They're scattered throughout the inn, waiting for you to discover them. Start with the key hidden in the old oak desk drawer. It will unlock more secrets. Be careful, Amy. There are those who would do anything to keep the Last Post-in as a mere business, or worse, to expose its true nature. You must be strong and wise. With all my love, Sarah." Amanda's heart raced as she read the letter. Her mother had known more than she let on, leaving behind a treasure trove of hidden knowledge that could either strengthen the Last Post-in's unique identity or threaten its very existence. Determined to uncover these secrets, Amanda began her search for the first clue, a key hidden in an old oak desk drawer. She remembered the study well and knew where such drawers might be located. As she rummaged through dusty compartments, her fingers brushed against a small, ornate object. Heart-pounding, Amanda pulled out a tarnished silver key, its surface etched with intricate designs. It seemed familiar, almost as if it had been passed down through generations. Holding the key in her palm, she felt a connection to her family's past and the mystery that surrounded the Last Post-in. With renewed purpose, Amanda set about decoding the symbols and deciphering the clues left by Sarah. Each discovery brought her closer to understanding the true nature of their family legacy. But with each revelation came new questions about the people involved, the dangers they faced, and why this knowledge had been hidden for so long. As she worked tirelessly at uncovering the truth, Amanda found herself questioning everything about the Last Post-in, including whether it was truly safe to continue running such a significant and mysterious establishment. Yet, driven by her mother's final words and a sense of duty, she persevered. Chapter 4: Shadows and Whispers in the Parlor. The Last Post-in's parlor was a cozy nook, filled with comfortable armchairs, a large fireplace, and shelves lined with books that had seen better days. It served as both a private retreat for patrons and a place of reflection for Amanda. On this particular evening, she found herself seated in one of the plush chairs by the hearth, surrounded by the familiar scents of leather polish and old paper. The parlor was quieter than usual. Most guests preferred to dine in the main hall or linger outside under the starlit sky. It was a perfect moment for Amanda to let her thoughts wander and piece together the fragments of information she had gathered from Sarah's letters and hidden symbols within the inn. As the fire crackled softly, casting dancing shadows on the walls, Amanda's mind wandered back to that fateful day when she first discovered Richard's study. The revelation about her mother's secret had sent a shockwave through her entire being. Now, with each new clue uncovered, it felt like a puzzle slowly coming together. She reached into her pocket and pulled out another key, this one slightly different from the first. It too bore intricate carvings, but these were more complex, almost as if telling a story in their own right. As she examined it closely, Amanda noticed something peculiar, a small, barely visible engraving at the base of the key. With shaking hands, she took out a magnifying glass and focused on the engraving. To her surprise, the symbol matched the one found on Sarah's letter in Richard's study wall. This was not just coincidence, it confirmed that these keys were part of a larger plan to reveal something crucial about the last post-in's past. Amanda felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. She knew what she had to do next, but the task ahead seemed daunting. The key held promises of uncovering more secrets, yet it also hinted at potential dangers lurking in the shadows. As she pondered her next move, Amanda noticed a faint sound emanating from outside the parlor window. It was a soft rustling, almost like leaves whispering to each other in the breeze. She rose slowly and approached the window, peering out into the moonlit courtyard. To her surprise, she saw a figure standing just beyond the shadows cast by the overhanging trees, a silhouette that seemed familiar yet unidentifiable. Amanda's heart skipped a beat as realization dawned. It was Richard. "Father!" Richard turned, and their eyes met through the darkness. "Amy," he said softly, his voice carrying a mix of concern and something else, perhaps pride or even hope. "What are you doing here?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. He stepped closer, the dim light from the parlor casting an ethereal glow around them. "I had to see for myself that everything is going well. I wanted to make sure you were okay with this new journey." Amanda felt a wave of emotions wash over her, relief mixed with gratitude. "Father, there's so much I need to tell you, about my mother and what she left behind." Richard nodded understandingly, his expression softening. "I've been waiting for the right moment to talk openly, Amy. Your discovery has changed everything." He took a deep breath before continuing. "There are people who know of our family's history, those who would stop at nothing to use it against us or destroy the last post-in altogether." Amanda felt a chill run down her spine. "How did they find out?" Richard hesitated for a moment before answering. "That's what I need you to figure out, my dear. But know this, we're not alone in facing these challenges. There are allies and protectors who will stand by us if the time comes." The conversation lingered in the air between them, filled with unspoken words and shared understanding. Richard's presence was a beacon of support amidst the growing uncertainties. Before leaving, he placed a hand on Amanda's shoulder gently. "Remember, Amy, we faced this together. The last post-in is our legacy, but it's also about protecting those who rely on us." With those final words, Richard turned and disappeared into the night, leaving Amanda alone in the parlor with a renewed sense of purpose. She knew that no matter what lay ahead, she would need to rely on her father's wisdom and her own strength. Chapter 5: Unveiling the Past. The key from Sarah's letter led Amanda to an old storage room tucked away behind the bar area of the last post-in. She had heard snippets about its existence but hadn't ventured inside until now. The door creaked softly as she pushed it open, revealing a space filled with dusty crates and forgotten relics. Amanda stepped into the dimly lit chamber, her flashlight illuminating rows of tightly packed boxes. Each one was labeled in faded ink, detailing contents ranging from ancient maps to mysterious artifacts. Her heart raced as she carefully opened the first box, its contents spilling out onto a pile of old papers and photographs. Amongst these documents lay an old diary belonging to Richard's great-grandfather, George Hull. Its pages were yellowed with age but still held vibrant stories of their family's past. As Amanda read through the entries, she found herself transported back in time, navigating the challenges faced by her ancestors during a period marked by both prosperity and peril. The diary revealed that the last post-in had origins far deeper than just being an inn. It was once part of a secret network dedicated to protecting knowledge deemed crucial for humanity's survival. During turbulent times, members of this clandestine group would hide valuable information within the very walls of the last post-in, ensuring its safekeeping until conditions allowed them to reveal it. Amanda felt a profound connection as she read about her own family's role in safeguarding these secrets. Each page brought new insights and questions about her mother's involvement, the reasons behind hiding this knowledge, and how their actions aligned with those of previous generations. As Amanda continued exploring, another key revealed more hidden compartments within the walls. Inside one compartment, she found a chest containing an array of ancient tools, symbols etched into their surfaces in intricate designs. These symbols echoed the ones from Sarah's letter, providing further clues to decipher and uncover. With each discovery, the layers of the last post-in's history grew thicker, painting a vivid picture of its significance beyond what anyone had previously known. It was clear now that running this inn wasn't just about preserving tradition, It meant upholding an ancient duty, a responsibility that extended across generations. Amanda's mind raced with possibilities about why her mother left these clues and whether there were still more secrets waiting to be uncovered. She felt both exhilarated by the revelations and slightly overwhelmed by the magnitude of what she had discovered. Chapter 6: The Hidden Doorway. As Amanda delved deeper into uncovering the last post in's true history, she encountered a hidden doorway leading to an underground chamber beneath the building. This chamber held more keys and symbols similar to those found elsewhere in the inn. Upon closer inspection, she realized that these keys unlocked specific areas within the underground labyrinth. Exploring this new terrain, Amanda discovered a series of chambers filled with ancient texts, tools, and personal belongings belonging to her ancestors. Each room was intricately designed, featuring elaborate carvings that seemed to tell stories from different eras. As she pieced together the symbols on the walls and objects, patterns began to emerge. These findings hinted at a complex network of knowledge passed down through generations, information crucial for addressing impending global crises. Amanda understood that her family had played vital roles in safeguarding this wisdom, until the time was right to reveal it openly. Amongst these artifacts, she stumbled upon a mysterious device, a small box containing a crystal that emitted faint glows when touched. This device seemed central to understanding their family's legacy and its connection to the last post in's purpose. Back at the surface, Amanda gathered all her findings and decided to share them with Richard. Their meeting was scheduled in his study, where she hoped to discuss these discoveries further. Chapter 7: The Meeting of Minds. Amanda arrived at Richard's study just as he had requested. As she entered, she noticed that the room had been transformed into a cozy gathering space filled with cushions and small tables. The atmosphere felt more relaxed compared to their previous conversations, perhaps due to the shared excitement of new discoveries. Richard greeted her warmly, offering a cup of tea before they began discussing Amanda's latest findings. They settled into comfortable chairs facing each other across a small table adorned with papers and maps spread out between them. Amanda laid out all the keys she had discovered along with the symbols from Sarah's letter and her great-grandfather's diary. "I believe these clues point towards an underground network beneath the last post inn," she explained, showing Richard how they interlocked to form a complete picture. Richard listened intently, his eyes narrowing as he examined each item closely. "This is fascinating, Amy," he said finally, running his fingers over one of the keys. "Your mother left us these tools to uncover our true heritage and purpose." Together, they began mapping out potential locations within the last post in's foundation where such a network might be hidden. Amanda shared her theories about the ancient device she found in the underground chamber, speculating that it could serve as a key component in activating certain mechanisms or providing access to additional information. Their discussion delved into deeper questions about why their family had concealed this knowledge for so long and what specific dangers they faced. Richard explained that there were those who sought control over such powerful secrets, seeing them as potential weapons rather than tools for positive change. As the night wore on, their conversation shifted to strategies for protecting these discoveries, while also sharing enough information to ensure the last post in's true role was recognized. They discussed allies who might support their efforts and ways to gradually integrate this knowledge into the inn's daily operations without raising immediate suspicion. By the end of their meeting, both Richard and Amanda felt a renewed sense of unity and purpose. They agreed that uncovering the last post in's hidden past was not just about preserving history. It was also about ensuring that its legacy could contribute positively to the world today. With a promise to continue working together, they parted ways, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead as they navigated their family's intricate journey through time and space. Chapter 8: The Path Forward. As Amanda and Richard delved deeper into the revelations about the last post in's hidden history, It became clear that they needed a strategic plan to protect and utilize this knowledge. They decided to form an alliance with individuals who could help safeguard their discoveries, while ensuring the inn remained a safe haven for those in need. One of these allies was Dr. Elena Vasquez, a renowned historian specializing in cryptic symbols and ancient artifacts. She had heard rumors about the last post inn's mysterious past and expressed interest in collaborating with Amanda and Richard to uncover more truths. Amanda arranged a meeting at the inn, where she introduced Dr. Vasquez to both Richard and her father, Mr. Thompson, another key figure who had known of their family's secret for years. Together, they discussed various strategies. 1. Securing the underground network. They planned to fortify the hidden chambers beneath the last post inn with state-of-the-art security systems, ensuring that only those authorized could access this sensitive information. 2. Creating a codex. A detailed codex would be created containing all known symbols, keys, and artifacts. This document would serve as both a reference guide and an emergency tool if any of them were ever lost or compromised. 3. Developing discrete protocols. They developed protocols for discreetly sharing information with trusted allies without arousing suspicion among patrons at the inn. These included coded messages and safe points within the building's layout. 4. Educating staff. Amanda and Richard decided to train some of the last post inn staff on basic knowledge about their family's history, making sure they could assist in maintaining security measures if needed. 5. Public outreach. They planned to gradually introduce elements from the last post inn's true nature into the public narrative through guest lectures, historical exhibits, and community events. This would help build a foundation of trust and acceptance among local residents. 6. Global network. Recognizing that their discoveries could have far-reaching implications, Amanda and Richard also began reaching out to international partners who shared similar interests in safeguarding knowledge for future generations. With these plans in place, the group felt more confident in their ability to protect the last post inn's legacy, while ensuring its continued relevance and usefulness. They committed to ongoing research and collaboration, knowing that their journey was far from over, but promising a brighter future for all involved. Epilogue: A new legacy. Years passed as Amanda and Richard successfully navigated the complexities of their family's hidden past. The last post inn became not only an iconic establishment, but also a revered sanctuary for those seeking knowledge and guidance. Dr. Vasquez's contributions enriched both the inn and their understanding, making it a hub where history intertwined with modern wisdom. The underground network continued to be meticulously maintained and expanded under Amanda's leadership. It housed invaluable information crucial for addressing global challenges, ensuring that this ancient safeguard remained a powerful force for good. Their alliance with international partners grew stronger, creating a worldwide network dedicated to preserving knowledge across cultures and generations. The last post inn emerged as a symbol of unity and resilience, inspiring countless individuals around the globe. As Amanda stood within the inn's grand hall one evening, surrounded by familiar faces, both old friends and new allies, she felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Her mother's legacy lived on through their efforts, weaving together past, present, and future into a tapestry of shared purpose and collective wisdom. In embracing the last post inn's true nature, Amanda and Richard had not only safeguarded history, but also created a beacon of hope for the world, proving that sometimes our greatest treasures lie hidden in plain sight. End of story.